All right, everyone, welcome again. I'm Miss Jackson. Today we're going to be having orientation. We're going to introduce you to members of the team, take you through what the website looks like, and give you an understanding of the program that we're going to endeavor. Is everyone hearing well? Can everyone hear me? Thumbs up in the chat. Yes, in the chat. Perfect. All right. So I'm going to introduce Mrs. Mantok, who really doesn't need any introduction. Many of you would have been with her before in grade 5. Some of you are new. Welcome to all, especially the new students, and welcome back to all our old students. So Mrs. Mantok is going to give you the overview of the program, and then I'll take you into a little presentation on Mantok's guide. So with no further ado, Mrs. Mantok, I'll let you take it away.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's orientation. As you know by now, I am Mrs. Mantok. As the name suggests, Mantok's guide. So most of you would have been recommended to me, or some of you are like second time around, third time around, because you had other students with me before. So I am the person that will be guiding you through the grade 6 program. I had you in grade 5, and now you're moving up with me in grade 6. So I would like to welcome all the new persons who are joining for the first time this afternoon, and I would like to extend my gratitude to the persons that had last year in grade 5 and you have chosen to come back. I really appreciate that, and it says a lot about what we had to offer you. Now, many of you may be wondering what Mrs. Mantok has been doing. So for those of you who may want to know a little more about me, I've been in this education thing for approximately 40 or more years. I've had experience in prep school, primary, secondary, teacher training. I am an author for the social studies book that most of you are using now. I work as a school-based assessor, and as I told you, I was in teacher training. I did a stint with UWI, with their BEd student in teacher training, primary education, and supervised their thesis. I have a stint there. So actually, my first job was in a secondary school. Now, persons may ask me, why do I settle in primary? Is it the school that I work in or the children? Of course, it's the children. And apart from just teaching the children, I've had experience as a math coach, I told you before, as a school-based assessor, and schools challenge quiz coach, and the list goes on. So from time to time, as we go along, you will learn more about me. And as a matter of fact, I should tell you, all the primary exam that you have had, and especially the parents, I've been a part of them. I used to work, train children for common entrance, then GSAT, and now PET. And my life has been a very interesting experience in the educational field. So when you could ask, what next could it be? And then COVID came, and then it took me to a new level, Mantok's guide, which is a blessing because I'm able to share myself with much more students across Jamaica and the wider Caribbean, all right? So now in grade 6, some of the parents may be wondering, why are we having class in July? Well, usually as a teacher of students preparing for exam, I usually start training my grade 6 students in May. Then COVID came last year and I started in June. And then last year happened and we didn't know what we were doing or when we should stop. And so this year I ended up starting in July. So now, first of all, I want you to understand that my program is not replacing school. So it means you still have to go to your school. My program is a support system that ensures that you get everything that you are supposed to get and prepare you to the fullest for your exam, right? Making sure that all the objectives are being achieved and all the activities that you should do, that you get them. Now, so the classes in July will be a kind of springboard. I am going to give you like a foundation to build on. I know some of you have been out of school for a while, and so that interaction and the things that you should get, some of those are missing. So July is to start to form the link between what you were doing and then what you have to be doing. So we'll be starting with some simple things. And as a matter of fact, we are starting classes today because we don't have any time to lose. Now, usually we start at the classes, we said 4 to 6, but because we are short on time this year and we are starting late, I'm going to, as of next week, I'm going to be asking you to come on at 3 on a Saturday, so you can get an extra hour so we can cover more of the things, so that you won't be so far off when you join in September. Because usually by September, we would have finished the first unit in grade 6 and would be on the second unit in grade 6. So usually my students, they are always ahead of their class when they go to school. All right, so we have to do something to see if we can catch up back. So you, on a Friday and Saturday, you will have your live class, and then the recorded class will be uploaded for you to go back over it if you want to. Then you'll be having activities posted on the site for you to do. These activities will serve to reinforce the concepts in the lessons that were taught, basically to improve your reasoning and comprehension skill, to enhance your vocabulary, and to develop speed and accuracy. And of course, you will be having tests. The test will be online. And the purpose of the test is to evaluate what we have done and to see how you are keeping up with the rest of the class. And your parents will be able to see what you are doing and can track you. So we do like worksheets, time tests, we have performance tasks, we have writing, and we have listening activity, which was a favorite among many students because you get to listen to stories. I know some of you may say, oh, that's on babies, but guess what? When you listen, you have activities to do from it. You have the comprehension skills, you have the vocabulary, you have the writing skills. So we have lots of things for you to do. Now, I know because you didn't get to do your performance tasks, that some parents may be wondering about it. We will be still doing performance task activities, September, October, right up to when we get the test. And some persons were worried about the content in grade 5 as it relates to the performance task. Now remember, the performance task is not something that you have to memorize work to do. It's like you are given sources, for example, in science and social studies and language, and you have to use the information to complete a certain task where you may have to answer a question or give solution to a problem. So stop worrying about memorizing all the notes from grade 5 and the content from grade 5 to do that. They couldn't do that to you. So they have to give you the information and you have to interpret it and use that information to answer questions. All right? So remember now the objective of this July class. So we actually start our program is to lay the foundation for the grade 6, get in some of the grade 6 and get you in a frame of mind. And remember, it's not only about the class that you do with me live. You'll have activities on the site to do to that will be a part of the program. So I am going to stop here now. If you have any question later on, I'm going to turn you over back to Ms. Jackson. She will tell you some more about the program and show you some of the things that we have been doing last year. Remember, it is a new program. We continue to learn and grow, and how we develop depend on your response to the program. And you as the parents, I'm asking you for your suggestion. As we go along, you can tell us how best we can help you and your child to do better. We are open to suggestions, all right? So Mr. Jackson, it's over to you.
Thank you, Mrs. Mantok. I see we have some hands. If there are questions, we're going to allow you to ask your questions maybe closer towards the end, because we're going to explain a lot in the orientation presentation, and we just ask that if you don't see the answer to those questions in the presentation, then you can ask them. All right, so, or you can type it in the chat. We have several teachers in the chat that can probably assist you if it's something that is burning. So for efficiency, we're just going to go through the presentation and then allow you to ask your questions rather at the end. All right, you should be seeing my screen. Welcome again to Mantalk's Guide Orientation, and thank you to all who have put their trust in us to assist them in preparation for the PEP exams. I am Ms. Jackson, and I will introduce you to the members of the team shortly. This presentation, the theme is your transition to e-learning, the Mantalk's Guide way. All right, so we'll be going through an introduction to Mantalk's Guide, a few tips on adapting to online learning. I know many of us will be doing a lot of online learning since COVID has started, so you probably are professionals, but we'll still give you some guidance to help you to succeed in this program. So some of the expectations of both the parents and the students, and then a few housekeeping matters at the end. So Mrs. Mantok gave you a very good introduction to what we're doing and what the program is about. So I will just go into more of the technicalities of it. So how the program, how the online site works, and how we test you, and how we score you, and things like that. So Mrs. Mantok went through her background, but I just want to emphasize a little bit about her. She's an award-winning teacher, champion math coach, published editor, and author. So those who have seen the social studies text that's being used in school, it's authored by the one and only Mrs. Mantok. So she's excellent at writing. So a lot of the content that we have on the site are original works of hers. So it's very rich and very good content, and that's part of the feedback that we had actually gotten from the program last year. For those of you who have been in grade 5, you'd be aware of that, but just for the persons who are coming on board for the first time, Mrs. Mantok is she's very good at understanding what the requirements are for students to take exams, and she has seen success with the top boy in Jamaica last year and the top boy the year before. So you're in good hands. All right, so these are some of the members of the Mantalk's Guide team. If they're on, I'll just ask them to turn on their camera so you can see them. If they're not, their picture should be up here. These are some of the key members. Starting from, let's start from left to right, Mr. Akil Strachan. He's someone who ensures that all of the recordings of the classes are done and put together and on the website for you within a day or two after class. Then there's me. I am Miss Jackson. I am behind the scenes program director, so the WhatsApp line, the communication, the registrations, I take care of most of those. So if you're talking to me on WhatsApp, just putting a face to the name, or a face to the text that you're doing, that's me. Miss Mantok, if she's on, I don't know if she can unmute and show her face. You will see her though. If you don't know her, she's the science teacher. All right, Miss Mantok. She is our science teacher. I don't know if you want to say a few words, Miss Mantok. Not hearing you. All right, so you'll see her if you're in grade 5, you would have seen her already. She's our science teacher, but she's not only the science teacher. She does a lot of the work in helping to prepare the tests and worksheets and things like that you guys would have. Oh, your favorite science teacher. That favorite science teacher. That's awesome. I see a comment in the chat that Miss Mantock is her favorite science teacher. That's nice. And our grade 4 teachers are also here on the screen. Mrs. Jackson Walters and Miss Wedderburn. They are the teachers for our grade 4 program. Miss Mantock and Mrs. Mantock teach grade 5 and grade 6. Okay, well, I introduced Mrs. Mantock already. Have you seen her? Then there is Mr. Mantock, who just took a phone call, I think, because persons are still trying to get access. So Mr. Mantock is here. I'll ask him to unmute and say hello. He's a very important person, a VVIP.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. I'm glad you could be a part of the program for 2021, 2022. We're looking for a great experience for all our students. So thank you so much for trusting us with your education.
All right. So the reason why I said he's a VVIP is because Mr. Mantock is who designed this amazing website, and he's always looking for improving. A lot of parents are like, what more can you do? It's so awesome already. But he really has an eye for excellence, and he wants to have the best experience. He's very good at research. He researches a lot. He tries to understand what students will adapt to and tries to implement it in a way that the website is easy to use and engaging for the students. So trust me, he has a lot in store for you in terms of what's going to be on the website in a few months. So look out. He's good. Yes, it's possible, Isaiah. It's possible. All right. So yes, as I said, he's gonna make it into a video game. So I said it's possible. So he wants to be able to meet the objective of getting you guys prepared for the exams, doing it in a way where you will want to go on the website, you'll want to do the work, and you'll get rewarded for doing the work on the website. Because we did some analysis on this last year, and the students who complete most of the tasks on the website are the students who get in the top grades in the tests and who will be the top performing students on the program. So doing the work, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So you guys have to put in your part by doing the work on the website, and Mr. Mantock is putting all of the things in place so that you can find it more engaging and interesting to be able to do that. So he's the backbone of the online platform. He's the head cook and bottle washer in all things technology. So sometimes if you send a message and it's something that I can't help with, I'll put it on to him to help. Then there is Mrs. Lewis, sorry, she's on. I don't know if she can talk now, but she is also one of the behind the scenes persons that gets those worksheets out. She deals with all of your payments. So if you send in your payment, she'll be the one that is transacting it and sending your receipts and stuff like that. So she is so important to us. So thank you, Odette, for joining. I see you're on, but maybe you can't talk right now. But she says thank you. I know she's saying thank you. To be here. All right, so this is the team, the key persons. She's supported, Mrs. Mantock is supported by a dynamic team of different persons with different backgrounds. My background is actuarial science. Mr. Mantock is in engineering and IT. So we have different backgrounds and we come together to make a beautiful product, in my opinion. All right, so this is the new website. It's not up yet. I don't think it's up yet, but this is what the new website is gonna look like. It will have similar features to the other one where you can log in, register, and learn more about the program. It should be up soon. But I wanted to next take you through a little bit of statistics. Thanks, Cheyenne. Cheyenne says it's beautiful. I wanted to take you through a few statistics of what we did in terms of what we posted on the website last year for the period June to June of last year. For grade 6, we had 164 lessons, 195 different worksheets. Grade 5, a similar number, 122 and 80. And grade 4, 131 lessons, 121 worksheets. So we put in a lot of work, and there's a lot of work for you guys to be able to practice, to get you better, to help you to learn, to help you to understand. I know a lot of us are fearful of the online learning for those who say that they haven't been able to do it. So, but it's not just about going to class, it's about doing the work, and you have excellent work and excellent content to be able to consume on our website. So yes, that's very good. Yes, you can actually put in the work and succeed. We saw evidence of that. Students who started out and they said, oh, this is not for me, the online thing is not for me. And then by the end, they were crying. They were in tears that the program was over. So we'll do our part, but you have to meet us halfway. You have to go online and do the work when we put it up. Just a recap of the schedule, you should know, and Mrs. Mancock told you about this a while ago also, that grade 6 is Fridays and Saturdays, 4 to 6, but she's gonna ask you to come on an hour earlier because we have a lot of ground to make up to ensure we cover the grade 6 content. Normally, as she said, she would start this program from May, and because of COVID and the ministry's announcements, we're a little bit behind. So we're trying to catch up, so we're gonna add an extra hour to the Saturday class for now. All right, so the online learning tools that you will need. So first, to log in, you'll need your computer, of course. You're going to need a quiet workspace. You're going to need internet connection, of course, that you should have one since you're on. We recommend a tablet, a computer, or a laptop. A tablet, a computer, or a laptop, not a phone. You notice there's no phone here. The phone is not a suitable device to take our program on. If you're on the road and you can't join immediately, you can join on the phone, but we need you to be able to have access to one of these devices to be able to do the lessons, the worksheets, and the tests. The phone is not going to work for doing those. So yes, we need you to have access to one of those devices. Download Google Chrome on your device. So Google Chrome is a browser. If you go to Google and type in Chrome, or if you go to any search engine and type in Chrome, that's the browser that you need. It's the optimal browser. No, Safari can work, but when you have issues accessing the lessons or issues doing something, we can troubleshoot that issue by saying it's because you're not using Chrome. So if you're using Chrome, you'll have the best experience and fewer issues accessing the website. All right, so Google Chrome is the recommended browser. Others will work, but we recommend Google Chrome. And of course, have your notebook to take notes. Where you can't catch all the notes in class, we put up everything we teach in class online, so you will have it to go back to, review, and get any information that you need. So everybody's like, oh, I missed so-and-so class. Yes, the recording will be there. The lesson will be there. You'll be able to go back and go through it on your own if you happen to miss a specific class. If you do have a tablet, we recommend that you get a Bluetooth keyboard and a mouse also, because it's easier for the typing. Our program, because of we're using Zoom webinar right now, you have to be typing to us in the chat. Having a Bluetooth keyboard is a little bit easier, and that's what's pictured here in the screen. It's optional, but it's highly recommended to get the best out of our program, especially our classes. Something went wrong here. Okay, logging into the website. When you log in, when you go on the website, you're going to see the login button. You should have been able to click it. I know some person saying they were having issues logging in. Please tell your parents to send us a message if you're still unable to log in, and we will troubleshoot them later tonight, because you'll need the login for class tomorrow. The Zoom link is not going to be shared for class tomorrow, so you'll need to be able to log in. So please check on that if you haven't been able to do so already. All right, and again, this is what the screen is going to come up. You enter the username and password, and when you log in, it will take you to the site. And I'm going to just jump to the site to show you what it looks like. When you log in and work starts to be populated to your portal, it will look like this. If you are home, you're going to see activities that are due, activities that are in progress, and activities that are completed. So activities that are due mean that you have not opened it yet, you haven't started it yet, and it needs to be completed. Activities that are in progress means you have clicked it to open it, but you haven't completed it, right? So that means it's not completed yet. It still needs to be graded for it to go to the complete section. And you notice the complete section has a score on the bottom right. So once you're complete, it will give you a grade here on the bottom right. So I'm going to take you into some of the actual activities. So we have different activity types. Let me go back here for a second. We have, the first one is the lessons. So lessons, lessons will look like this on the screen. It will start off with a page that kind of looks like this. We're going to have a different look for this year, but this is last year's lessons. It will look like this. It will have buttons at the bottom for you to navigate through, either front or back, previous or next. It also has a button that you can maximize the screen to take up the full screen, and to exit it, you just press this. It's an X up here, or the escape button. So a lesson will have, this is what will take you through in class, and then it will have built-in activities. So there will become, the lesson will come to a point where it will ask you to do an activity like this. So it will ask you a question, you should fill in the answer and then press the submit button, and the grader will grade it automatically and tell you if your question is right or wrong. So all of our lessons have built-in activities. So the students, when we go through it in class, the students are to go back through it on their portal. They'll have it for themselves on their portal to do, and it will be graded automatically, and then they'll get a grade at the end of the lesson. So when you go into the portal, that's the grade that will come up. Let me see if I can click one in the portal directly. You'll see a button at the top that says complete when you reach the end of the lesson, and this is what you'll select to grade the lesson. You press the complete button up here. All right, those are the lessons. Then there are worksheets. So in between classes, we'll put up worksheets for you to do before the next class, and the worksheets look like this. It has a grading cube on the right. It will show what your grade is, what answer you've selected if it's multiple choice, and you can press the save button, because sometimes we have ones with like 50 questions, so it's encouraged that you press the save button as you're going through. And then after we finish the worksheets, there's going to be a button at the very last page that says submit, and that is what you would select to get your grade. So if you don't finish the worksheet, it will tell you, wait, you have unanswered questions. Are you sure you want to submit? And you can say, no, I'm going to continue, and it will allow you to go back and complete the items. And you can click on the number of the question in the grid here, and it will take you directly to that question, which is awesome. So you can click on number 18, it will take you to number 18. If you want to read over and look back at the answers, you'll be able to do so by clicking on the grid, and you press the submit button to get your grade. Then we'll have tests. So the tests, here's a test. It looks just like the worksheet, just similar, but of course it's in our test format, and you take these during class. So we'll have special test days. We take them during class, and you get sometimes we'll give you the wait a little bit to give you the grades for these. The worksheets are, however, graded instantly. You'll get your grade immediately. Yes, it's awesome, isn't it? Yeah, comment, awesome. All right. So those are the lessons, then the worksheets, and then the schedule. So the schedule view is, let me go back here. This is the home view, what we call the home view. And the home view is where you'll see what's due, in progress, completed. Then there's also the schedule view, and the schedule view, it will give you, this is what it will look like, but when it starts to become populated, it will show you all the activities in this schedule. So all the activities that you should do in June week 1, June week 2, June week 3. Well, we're in July now, so it will tell you July week 1, July week 2, July week 3. So you'll be able to see all the activities, and it's easier to track what should be done when. So we'll have the home view, which will just show you what's due. As you log in, you'll see everything that's due. Then you'll have the schedule view where you can see all of the activities in chronological order. Yes, Daniel, just like grade 5. So this is what the schedule will look like. For example, it will show you, and this is where you would go to access the recordings. You're not going to see the recordings on the home view, but you will see them on the schedule. So the schedule will have the recordings of all the classes, and then what was done that week in class, and then any worksheets that were put up in between classes. It will be on that schedule for the week. All right. Awesome. Then we have the performance task. I saw a question about that earlier. The performance task is a special type of worksheet in our language where we allow the students to type their answers in, and the teachers go in on the back end and grade it and give comments on their specific answers. So we have that capability as well in the performance task activities that we have put up. And those usually come with a deadline. So the teacher, if we're doing it in class and we issue the performance task in class, you usually have a deadline to get those done. The worksheets and stuff are graded instantly, so there's no deadline. If you miss one, you can go back to it, even though we encourage you to do it the week it's due. But the performance task, if you don't do it when the teacher gives it as an assignment and gives you the deadline, then it will not be graded because the teachers go in and grade it at a specific time. So, right. Those are the performance tasks. And then of course, in all the worksheets and tasks, you have to make sure you press the save and the submit buttons. Save it throughout, especially the performance task, press the save button as frequently as you can, and the submit button. Then there is the 90s club. So when you log in, you'll see the 90s club on the left. The 90s club is where when we have exams, you will see pictures of the persons or the avatars of the persons who have gotten over 90 on that specific set of exams. And the avatars are created in the website here. You can just click on the avatar button, and students have given some really interesting ones over the past year. And you can customize your face shape, your eyes, hair, clothes, the background, your mouth, nose, and ears. So students can like to go through it and configure the avatar to look like either themselves or someone completely different. So we've had interesting things just to give them a little bit of motivation, and some of them really love their avatar. So that's basically it. And then you can see the activities by subject as well. You can click on it and see the different subjects. And as I said, we're building out a more robust reward system, but now they just get points for completing the activities. All right, the 90s club, right? So it will be up when we start doing tests. You guys are on Zoom now, so you should be familiar with using it. But for those who are not familiar, we use the chat to communicate with the teacher. Right now, that's what we're using. But as I've mentioned before, that we're building out a new platform that will have better capabilities. So for now, that's what we're using, but we're going to be able to streamline this a little bit better soon. And if you need to ask a question, you can use the raise hand button. I see some hands raised. I'll get to you in a minute. And then with the Q&A feature it's normally disabled, but if it is enabled, we use that to answer and for you to ask specific questions related to what's being taught or what we're discussing, and then we'll provide answers with you there. Rarely will we use the Zoom meeting feature where it allows you to mute and unmute yourself. So just the guidelines for that. Video should be off. You'll only be allowed to communicate with your teachers in general. So because of the class, we don't want any distractions in the class. We try to keep focused. Students are only allowed to communicate with their teachers directly, and we usually have 5 or so teachers, 4 to 5 teachers assisting Mrs. Mantok on the class at any time so that they can answer your questions. So the rules for class are raise your hand, be polite to each other and to your teachers. We have a 0 tolerance policy for anyone speaking, saying profanity or anything like that in class, that you're immediately kicked out of class. So be polite and ask questions. Ask as many questions as you want. We have teachers on board answering. So ask as many questions as you want, and we will answer you. All right. If you have, I'll allow you to unmute soon, but if you have other questions, you can type them. All right. So Zoom rules: do not unmute your mic unless you are called on or acknowledged. Definitely no writing on the screen or sharing your screen. And you guys should be familiar with that if you've been in online school for the past year. So we put together a few keys to success in online learning, and I call it the trifecta of the parents, teachers, and students. So that's the key to success. So parents, you really play an important role in online school. Since we are not physically there with them, we need you to assist us and guide us and help us to guide them rather in ensuring that they complete their tasks online, logging into their portal to view what they have due, logging into their portal to check their grades, and just ensuring that they are on top of things. As I know life can get hectic, you have regular school and hours, but for you to get the best out of our program, you should be able to complete the activities and exercises. Some students will find it easy, some a little bit more challenging, but just pace yourself and put in the time and schedule some time to be able to go through them when they are put up to reinforce what it is, what we're teaching, right? So teachers are there, we'll play our part and put the work there for you to be able to do and give you the guidance that you need to do it. Students, we are asking that you have a quiet environment. We don't want any noise in the background, any siblings shouting, any TV on, any radio on. So a quiet environment to learn. Join class on time, because we start promptly at 4 p.m. Raise your hand or use the chat feature to ask questions. Have your notebook and a bottle of water. Use headphones if possible. Do all the work that's posted and take your notes when you review the lessons. So that's how you absorb the information. Take the notes, write down the information, and that will help you to absorb the information. Parents. So we ask that you do your best to understand your child's style of learning. I know many of you will know that already, and what you can do to support their style of learning. Some children, you know, they start to fidget and wiggle around when they're in front of the computer for too long. That's fine. Allow them to take breaks and come back and just help do your part to reinforce the lessons with them. Reward them when they achieve the objectives for the week or the month, so they're also inspired to continue doing them. And ensure that your child's environment is conducive to learning and they're properly equipped with what they need. Check their student portal on a regular basis. You have the access code, login code was sent to your email. You can log in as well and view what they're doing on the portal. There are lots of students that will say, yes, I'm doing the work, and the parents don't check. And when we check, we don't see any work done, nothing at all. They'll say, yes, I did the test. When I check, there's no test done. The parents have not logged in to validate that they have done the work. So just log in regularly, check that the work is being done. We can check on our end, and we do send reports. I saw that question before. We do send reports. Oh, they're not hearing me. Oh, okay. Right. So, oh, no, not me. We send reports regularly. So we'll send it to you to understand what the activities that the student is doing, the number of activities due, and what they've completed. But you don't have to wait on the report to come. You can know that at any time. Just have to log into their portal and you can see it for yourself. All right. And okay, before we go into housekeeping, were there any questions? I see some hands. Is there someone who wants to speak and ask a question? Daniel, do you want to ask a question? If you can use the raise hand button and I'll unmute you to ask a question before I go into housekeeping. All right. Go ahead, Joel. hearing you so well.
For the performance task, will there be writing task extension?
Will there be writing task for performance task? Is that the question?
Yes, yes.
Well, all of our, so when we're giving performance tasks, the instructions are that you should write it first. So it is a writing task. Write it first in your books, and then you can type the answer onto the website. And we ask you to do this.
Excuse me, Miss. Excuse me, Miss Jackson.
Go ahead.
I would just like to point out that there is writing tasks different from performance tasks. So we have writing activities for you to do all the different style of writing, whether it is descriptive, report writing, persuasive, expository. We have all of those kind of writing to do as learning tasks in the language arts section. So we do have writing, and we have markers who are going to mark your writing, and you get them back. You refer to it, some of you call it composition, some of you call it creative writing, some of you call it essay writing. Whatever you call it, well, we have that activity for you to do also. All right? Yes, Miss, you can go ahead now.
Right. Very good. There is a parent asking a question, Mrs. Mantok, and I think it would be worth for you to repeat the answer. You kind of mentioned it before in terms of their grade 5 assessment, the performance task assessment for their grade 5 work. A parent is asking if there's going to be a revision.
All right, now what the grade 5 will be asked to do when they're in grade 6 is performance tasks. And when I started, I mentioned that we are going to still continue to practice the performance tasks based on some of the topics that they have covered in grade 5. So that will be there. And that is one of the reasons why I'm putting in the extra hour on a Saturday. So come when school starts next term and you're all on, you have to continue with your performance tasks until the performance task exam is given. So don't worry about that. There will be activities and practice in the performance tasks going forward, all right, as it relates to grade 5, because they haven't done it as yet. Yes, Miss.
All right, I will allow Joan to ask her a question. Go ahead, Joan. All right, then Natalia.
Hello?
Go ahead. Oh, Joan, go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to know the answers to the questions that they do online. Will they be given for the wrong answers they get?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Let me see if I can go back to our worksheet just to show you. So when you, let me go to our worksheet here. All right. When you press the submit button, it will tell you. Oh, there's a complete. Okay, yeah, I'll go to a completed one. Yeah, that would have been a better idea. There, it will tell you which ones are right and wrong. So the X means you got it wrong. I just pressed submit. I didn't do any other questions. So the X means you got it wrong, and it will show you what the right answer is. It will give you a tick beside it. Let me go to a completed one, which would have been a better example. Let's go to the completed section, worksheets. When you complete it, you can go back into it and it can show you, oh, that's the one I just did. Sorry. Let's do this one. It will, when you go back to it, it will, so if you are, as a parent, want to review with your child what they did in the worksheet, you can go back and see what they did, what the answer that they selected, and what the correct answer is. So you'll see that they selected, for example, let's see, number 3, they selected B. So you'll see what they selected highlighted in blue, and then the correct answer will have a tick beside it, meaning they got it wrong. All right, so yes, the answers are there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Natalia, you have a question?
Yeah. I'm asking if we did not have any work, or if we didn't get a chance to complete the work from the grade 5 account, will we still be able to get on to access it?
I'll let Mrs. Mantok take that one.
Can you repeat, please?
I was asking if we did not get to do any work or if we did not get to do some work in the grade 5 classes, will we be able to still get onto it to get it completed?
Well, as it is now, you are in grade 6. So when I start the grade 6 program, what I am going to do, I'm going to do some foundation work that would have been related to grades 4 and 5 to give you a foundation to do grade 6. So you're not going to complete anything you didn't, but you will have the foundation laid on things that you should have been doing from grade 5. So there'll be a reminder and there'll be lessons to kind of bridge the gap. So don't worry about that. Because in grade 6, when you go to grade 6 to do your PEP exam, you are not being tested on grade 5 work, you're only being tested on grade 6 work. So this exam is not like GSAT where you have to be tested on grades 4, 5, and 6. This exam, you are only tested on the grade that you are in. So if you are in grade 6, doing grade 6 exam, you are being tested on the grade 6 curriculum. The only difference this year, because you didn't do the performance tasks in grade 5, then you're going to do performance tasks as it relates to grade 5, but it's not anything that you have to memorize. When you get a performance task, they give you the sources and you have to use the information to reason it out and answer the question. So there is no rule that you have to go and memorize anything from grade 5 going around and stressing out yourself that you're going to need. All right? So all you need is your foundation. So that is why now we are using this month to kind of fill the gap between grade 5 and grade 6. And guess what? From experience, when the children start grade 6, I always have to go back to foundation work to lay a solid foundation for grade 6. So there's not anything new I'm doing because I usually do that. Because by the time they leave grade 5, they forget most of the things they do from term 1 and from grade 4. So what I'm doing is a normal thing for me to do, to make sure you have the foundation you need to build on. All right?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, Ms. Jackson, you can go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Michael. I was talking. Go ahead, Michael.
Okay, is there a very major difference between the old Mantalk platform and the new one for grade 6, or is it just a small difference, and what are the differences?
Can you answer that, Mr. Mantalk?
Mr. Mantalk, yeah.
Sorry, hello. So yes, there'll be some major changes in August, so you will look out for them. So the biggest changes that we'll be having the classes in the website directly to make the classes more interactive, in the sense that you will be able to answer the questions during the class. We can see your answers and you'll be getting see what they got wrong or right for the entire class. So the class will be more interactive come September, when you guys go on break.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Mantalk. All right, I'll take 2 more questions because we have to wrap up in 10 minutes. I'll take a few more questions. Nadia, go ahead, Nadia. I'm not hearing Nadia. Cheyenne.
Hi, I would just want to know, is there going to be a class after this?
Yes, there is. We had said that class starts at 5, where orientation ends at 5. We'll have a little break and then class starts at that time.
Okay.
All right.
Don't
Nadia.
worry about today's, excuse me, don't worry about today's class. You'll just do something light and interesting, something that you love. And all the persons that were with me last term, you'll get your favorite story listening and activity from that afterwards. That's what I'm starting.
Sorry about that. My hand went up. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Mrs. Mantalk. Liano and then Tammy. Go ahead, Liano. Not hearing you, Liana. You have to talk up a little louder.
Okay. Hi. Good evening. My name is Diana. I'm asking on Fridays and Saturdays. On Fridays, is it 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock? And
Yes.
what and on Saturdays, is it the same thing?
Yeah, so you came late, Liana, is what you're saying. We start at 4 on a Friday, and we start at 4 on we indicated that class was 4 to 6 on a Saturday, but Mrs. Mantok said at the beginning of the class that we're going to start an hour earlier on Saturdays to be able
As of next week.
As of next week, not tomorrow, next week, to be able to catch up, because we would have normally started this program from May. All right.
Yes, Miss. So is there any class tomorrow?
Yes,
Yes, there will
Liana.
be class tomorrow.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Go ahead, Tammy.
Hi, good afternoon. My question is, since you were saying that we shouldn't have any background noise or TV in the background, will our classes be like with our cameras on and we can be able to unmute and interact with the teachers?
So no, the classes initially in this July period here will not be like that. So we don't want any distractions in class. So that's why we don't have your cameras on, and we allow you to talk to the teacher. You can interact with the teacher, just not vocally. So you can type to the teacher. Some of the questions that you guys have, like if class is tomorrow, you can type that question in the chat. You don't need to unmute to be able to ask that question. So there's whatever questions you have, you can type it and somebody will answer you. You'll always get an answer. But because the class is only 2 hours long, we can't allow everyone to unmute and talk, because it will distract some of the other students, because you guys are very excited when you come onto our class. So we allow you to talk to the teacher as much as you want, and the teachers will answer you. But because of the fact that our class is such a short period of time, we really try to get in as much work as possible with few distractions.
Okay, thank you.
Remember, excuse me, Ms. Jackson, I just want to point out to them. Remember, we are working with a curriculum, and there are certain things that we have to finish within a certain time period. So the focus is on finishing what we have to do in the curriculum and to cover as much work as possible, so we can cut out the distraction, so we can focus on what you have to cover.
Right.
All right.
Thank you. All right. Jessica.
Hi, Miss. I'm Jessica Gray, and I'm wondering if you're gonna have tests every week or just every semester.
Good question, Jessica. I'll let Mrs. Mantok take that one.
All right. Our tests, we have like unit tests, like when we finish our unit in language or mathematics. We have term tests and we have midterm tests. So for the term, you have midterm tests and you have end of term tests and you have unit tests short. So you have lots of tests. And added to the test, you have worksheets that are given after lessons to reinforce the lessons. So you will have lots of activities and you will do those online, and as you do them, you get your score. All right?
Okay, Miss.
Yes, you're welcome.
So, Miss, when the grade 5 and not at grade 6 yet, Miss, you're gonna have the performance test. Will you help us with go over with some more work?
Yes, I'm going to go over the you know, when were you if you were on first grade 5, remember we used to go through the task together in class.
Yes, I was here for grade 5.
It will follow the same
Same thing, yeah.
Same thing as before. So we go through it in class, and then you do your writing section on it and give it back to us, and then we mark it for you. All right?
All right. Yes, we only have, okay, I can only take 2 more questions. So please type your question in the chat so that we can finish this up and we can take our break before class starts at 5. All right. So please type the question in the chat. If it is something that you can type in the chat, I will allow 2 more persons. So go ahead, Sophia. Sophia, go already.
Good afternoon. Is this program just gonna be for July, or is it gonna go until August?
Good
All right.
question.
The
Go ahead.
program in July, you go on a break in August and you come back in September. So August, you get a holiday to do all the fun things you want. So we start the program in July, it continues in September, and the program goes right up until you do your exam. All right?
All right.
Okay.
Ariana, you're the last person, so can you please
Yes.
go ahead?
My name is Ariana. The question that I have to ask is, if coronavirus comes down, if the cases go down a little bit more, would that mean that we would have to come to the Montauk class, physically?
No, it's strictly online because remember, you know, we have children from all over Jamaica. I even have children from other Caribbean countries and the class, so they wouldn't be able to come to the class physically. All right?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
All right, so I'm sorry for those who didn't get to ask their question. Please type it in the chat. We have 3 more minutes and then we'll take our break before class. So the few housekeeping matters that we have relate to participating in the class and being aware of what we're doing. So we do send emails quite frequently. Some of you may know that. So check your emails and ensure if you have any questions, you can reach out to our email or WhatsApp. I know some of you are love to call and stuff, but it's easier for us to manage the messages or manage the questions that you have if you send it by WhatsApp. So you may not get through if you call immediately. And so I encourage you to send an email or a WhatsApp and someone will address you as soon as possible. So I know if it's an emergency, we'll try and take it, but normally we'll get back to you within a reasonable time. If you have a question or technical issue, we'll try to resolve it. And that's one thing the parents in the past have said about our program. We're very good at communication. So if you don't hear from us right away, someone will definitely get to you. Check your email regularly. We send very important information by email and by WhatsApp. And if you're not, it's not a WhatsApp group, so you're not going to see all the other parents. It's a WhatsApp distribution list. So join our WhatsApp distribution list and you'll get notifications like when class starts, when work is posted, when we are about having any challenges or stuff like that, you can get alerts immediately. Thank you, Christoph. Christoph said very good communication. Thank you for that. You guys should know the payment options already. This is for the parents. So ensure that when you're making a payment, if it's an online transfer, that you put the name of the student in it. Our accountant is begging you to do this so that we can know who the payment is for. And also not in replacement, but also email or WhatsApp us a copy of the payment receipt. And payments, because we started today is July the 2nd, payments are due on the 2nd of the month. So please just ensure that you send it to us. All right, 1 second. Okay, right. I know that there were some challenges logging in earlier, so apologies for that, everyone. I forgot about that. Apologies for logging in for the challenges. So we did send out an email with the link to be able to access class directly. So if you are having challenges, please let us know by WhatsApp or by email if you are unable to log in still using the login code. All right, so what happened here? Right, so the payment options, as you know, you can do an online transfer, you can do in branch, or you can come to our office if you absolutely have no other choice. And this is again how you contact us. It's 5:01 now. So I think Mrs. Mantok, I don't know if you have any final words. We can take a break, or I'll let Mrs. Mantok end the orientation session. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the future. I don't know if you'll see me frequently, but I will be there behind the scenes ensuring that everyone is doing all their work. We'll talk about, you'll see a communication come out about August. Yes, it's Jessica, I understand we're having some challenges with logging in, so we're going to resolve those before class tomorrow. All right, so thank you again, everyone. Mrs. Mantok, I don't know if you want to say a final word before we start class. We usually take a 10-minute break in between the classes. Class starts at 4 p.m. every Friday, 3 p.m. starting next Saturday, so not tomorrow. 4 p.m. every Friday and 3 p.m. next Saturday. All right?
Yes, Mr. Jackson, you are finished now?
Yes, finish now.
Okay, so I would just like to thank everyone for coming to this orientation. And I must apologize to those who did not get their questions answered. And I hope we'll be able to reach out to you and answer whatever difficulties you had at another time. Now, you have been sitting for a long time, and we don't believe in sitting for so long. So I'm going to ask the students to take a 10 minutes break now and be back in 10 minutes. And in 10 minutes time, we are going to start our class. So thanks again, and see you in 10 minutes time.